You have absolutely no idea how difficult it was for me to create this list, but thank you for clicking on my channel. This is the Real Movie Podcast, and today I want to talk about Leonardo DiCaprio top 5 movies. This was so hard that I probably will do another podcast about Leonardo DiCaprio. If this works well, I will create another one in part 2, because to capture the whole career of Leonardo DiCaprio in just one podcast and 5 movies is really difficult. I will not talk a lot about the movies. I just want to introduce you guys to watch it, and trust me, you will have so much fun watching these 5 movies. They are all excellent. Number 5, Catch Me If You Can, directed by Steven Spielberg. In 2002, where Leonardo DiCaprio was not still a huge player in the Hollywood, he was really good because he already had Titanic. Leonardo DiCaprio played in a kind of biography, and also Tom Hanks played in that movie. The plot of the movie is about a young man who does identity theft, and he disguises himself as a doctor, as a pilot. It's a really fun movie, don't miss it. Number 4, The Revenant. The Revenant was directed by Alejandro Inarritu, and Leonardo DiCaprio won the Oscar for the best actor in a leading role after 5 or 6 nominations before it. It was really huge. The movie Revenant is that kind of movie that when the movie is over, you're like, okay, this guy should win an Oscar for this. It's not my favorite Leonardo DiCaprio movie, but you can tell that he did everything for this movie. He really worked a lot for this movie, and he was in hard to describe conditions when they were shooting this movie. It's again a biography of a man whose name is Hugh Glass. After he was attacked by a bear, his crew left him to death, but he didn't die, so he went back to revenge. This is a gritty and dark movie. We have so much brutality and violence in this one, but Leonardo DiCaprio deserved an Oscar for this, and he got it. Number 3, Django Unchained. Django Unchained was directed by Quentin Tarantino, who is a big name in Hollywood. He has his trademark. When a movie is played after like 20-30 minutes, after some cuts and stuff, if you know directors and the style of their movies and the way they shoot their movies, you realize that, okay, this is a Quentin Tarantino movie. So in this movie, Leonardo DiCaprio played a bad guy. I think it was the first time that he played a bad guy. This movie came out in 2012, and Leonardo DiCaprio was so good in this movie. I remember I was a bit shocked that he wasn't nominated for an Oscar, because I really hated him in that movie. He was such a good villain. Fun fact about him, Quentin Tarantino said that the character that Leonardo DiCaprio played, Mr. Calvin, if I remember his name correctly, he was the only guy that Quentin Tarantino, as the director and writer, he really hated him. And so did I. And final note about Django Unchained, if you're not a Tarantino movie fan, this is the movie that you should watch to see that, okay, this guy is a good director. But I'm not saying that you will love it, but if you're a Tarantino fan, you will absolutely love this movie. In my opinion though, amongst Tarantino movies, Hateful Eight places itself a bit higher compared to Django Unchained, but Django is still pretty good. Number 2, The Wolf of Wall Street. The Wolf of Wall Street came out in 2013. It had big actors. It had Matthew McConaughey. It had Jonah Hill in it, and so many other things. And the director of this movie was Martin Scorsese. So you know that you will watch a Martin Scorsese movie and you're gonna be surprised. But I remember when I watched this movie, I was like, what the hell did this guy do? I thought to myself, does any other director has the balls to create such a movie, to have so much things going on in 3 hours of runtime? That movie is so packed with information, and it is so well directed and well written, and it is perfect that you don't realize the passage of time. You don't feel anything. It's not like you're sitting there for 3 hours. It feels like a 90-minute movie. And Leonardo DiCaprio did a hell of a performance in that movie. It is one of my favorite Scorsese DiCaprio movies. I already talked about it. And yeah, that's it. Don't miss it. But just a note this movie has so many F-bombs. And before we talk about number 1, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks. Number 1, The Departed. Again, we have a Martin Scorsese movie, and what else can it be if it's not The Departed? The Departed came out in 2006. This movie is in my top 3 movies, top 3 favorite movies of all time. Alongside Leonardo DiCaprio, we have Matt Damon, Mark Wahlberg, and the great Jack Nicholson himself plays also in this movie. And this movie is everything. It is perfect. If you haven't watched this movie, please watch it. It's about mob war and gangsters. I'm not gonna explain it a lot because I don't want to spoil anything in that movie, but that movie is just brilliant. If you have time, watch The Departed 2006, directed by Martin Scorsese. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for listening to my voice. If you have anything to say or any other movies that you have in mind, don't hesitate to introduce me in the comment section. And as always, did I mention that don't forget to like and subscribe? I think I did. So yeah, that's it. Thanks. Bye.